Hey guys, welcome to Geek Lightning.
What do we got first?
I did want to open it with this because you guys wanted to go to Star Wars. And I was thinking about this today. And it might be kind of topical because, you know, it just came out and it's the thing. But who has the worst fans? And this is obviously excluding people like Insane Clown Posse that everyone's kind of like, oh, fuck them. Like, it's excluding them. Like, which nerdy universe, whatever, has the worst fans?
Ooh.
Because right now I'm really leaning Star Wars.
That is so controversial.
I'm so fucking sick of Star Wars fans.
I really hate to exclude a segment of the nerd base that's so huge, but I'm going to say by far Star Trek fans.
Trekkies.
Yes.
I can kind of see that.
The people who actually
I'm
speak
sorry.
Twilight.
I am a Trekkie
Twilight,
fan, and you can be a little pompous about it. So
Klingon, by the way.
Klingon, yeah.
I mean, honestly, how many little kids do you see excited to go see the new Star Trek movie?
Yeah, and I guess that's true, and I can kind of understand.
Ooh, okay.
Because Star Wars fans are made up of old, young, and there's a general excitement there. Whereas with Star Trek,
no,
you
there's
have
a difference.
the fanatics.
There's a big difference,
though. There's a difference between something being popular and its fan base. I'm talking Star Wars nerds. I'm sick of Star Wars nerds talking about Star Wars. The other day I heard Star Wars names, and this was some major publication. They put out a video. It was Star Wars nerds talking about how the new Star Wars is too much like Star Wars. There's a petition to bring George Lucas back for number 9 instead of the guy that did Jurassic World. There's a petition to get the black people out of Star Wars, which I don't even understand. Like, what in the hell is wrong with this fan base?
That's what you call diverse, first off.
Okay.
But second,
I think there's like this new thing that's going on with like a certain demographic of all like nerds groups or whatever have just gone rogue, and they're down to do whatever to keep it like this very narrow view of what they think the movie franchise or their specific thing is supposed to be. And it's really crazy. It's almost like nerd terrorism.
It is nerd terrorism. In fact, that's a good term for it. Star Wars are nerd terrorists.
Okay.
But you can't limit it to movies either, though, because
no, you can't. Just comic book nerds.
I mean, what about the guys who buy life-size anime pillows?
Oh, dude.
What about the people who like
think they're Japanese?
What about the people who do like plastic surgery?
Weeaboos.
You call them weeaboos.
The people who do plastic surgery to actually look like anime people, like that, if anything, is the worst type of nerd to me.
We're talking about like the chick that
where do I sign
they
up
get the big eyes.
Yeah, they get the big eyes.
Yeah.
My God. Okay,
that would be a weird sexual experience. Just weird big eye anime chicks.
Oh yeah.
So I would like to first off say I'm sorry for excluding any of our fans out there because
I'm not.
Okay, so here's our first topic, true topic, other than obviously the curveball that Clayton threw us. Our first topic today is going to be prequels or original trilogy.
Oh God.
See, this I don't mind. This is a Star Wars conversation I get behind.
Well, so Clayton,
I just can't support George Lucas coming back.
Let's start with you. Prequels or original trilogy. You have to live with one the rest of your life and not the other.
I guess I would go OT over prequels.
Okay, thank you.
I would say the prequels are the worst.
Man,
wow,
had me worried for a second. I'll tell you.
Okay, so I don't have. This is going to be some kind of crazy for most of the rhetoric that goes around prequels versus original trilogy, but I actually enjoyed the prequels. Don't get me wrong, 1 and 2 were kind of murky, and it wasn't a good overall telling of the story. But episode 3 to me was good, and it told it set up a good narrative for watching Anakin fall to the dark side and creating this iconic character of Darth Vader. You know what I mean? It also made me, when I rewatched the original trilogy, made me kind of empathize with Darth Vader a lot more. So, but at the end of the day, it still has to go to the original trilogy, just because it kind of set up the mystique of the Star Wars universe for me. You know what I mean? It was like telling a legend, and I don't know. That was like the climactic part of the story for me. Was Luke finding out Vader's his father, eventually bringing him back from the Emperor's control, and setting the galaxy back to peace. That was what the whole story was about, and that was what I was digging. So Original trilogy all day, man.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. That was an acceptable answer for it.
All right, so mine is going to be a little bit more difficult of an answer.
Are you going to do the third, or are you going to do the new? Is that going to be your answer?
No, it's definitely not, because I'm not going to cheat like you. But mine is definitely, hands down, the prequels. And the reason for so, I'm a prequel defender, and I will always be.
Well, let's just skip to the meat of this and get to how do you defend Jar Jar?
Who?
You know.
Wow.
That's
okay,
the meat.
here's the thing.
The meat cool.
But the thing is, okay, we didn't actually get to see a true iteration of what he wanted Jar Jar to be. Because he changed Jar Jar. He cut so much out of it whenever he got so much flack. George Lucas, totally destroyed the character and gave him literally 5 minutes of screen time
and turn him into a caricature token alien.
Are you looking past the acting?
I'm looking past the acting. What I'm looking at is the puzzle pieces that are in front of us. Whenever you look at it, it's a much more beautiful puzzle because you have more ships, you have better scenery, you have all different kinds of things. And if all those puzzle pieces were to come together, it would have been a fabulous story.
Would have been.
You're right, and I guess I'm using a little bit of imaginative. Okay, so I lied. It's the prequels. What can I say?
There you go.
Okay, yeah. I mean that's argument.
No one caught that. I actually said prequels. I still defended the prequels.
I knew. I knew.
I
you were
I was just confused as to why you said it, but I was going to let you roll with it.
Okay, but
I wasn't entirely paying attention.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that is a argument that we can have until the end of time. So we're never going to reach a consensus on prequels versus original.
Well, the way I look at it, man, the prequels when they happened, for where technology was then and what they did with it, was so much lesser than what they did in the 70s with the originals.
I agree.
They accomplished so much with that, and with the prequels they had so much and accomplished, in my opinion, so little.
I agree. I think it was because of George Lucas's heavy hand in controlling everything.
That was a weird thing too. But see, if it's his creation and he's decided to cut that, you can't really still take it as what it should have been.
You can.
No, because you can't say, well, it didn't turn out the way George Lucas would have had it turn out if he was still in a controlling position. You know what I mean? He had all the authority. If it didn't turn out the way he wanted it to, then but the blame is kind of his.
That's kind of like saying, hey, I know you gave birth to this child, and your child was a prodigy at 3 or 4, but now that he's 17 and he's giving you black eyes, you might want to change things.
Now that he's 17 and being a real Kylo Ren about it.
Yeah. I mean, you got to step in and say, hey, you got to beat that child to death.
No Kylo Ren slander, man.
kind of a weird thing. Is this becoming a thing? The young, just irritating teenagers, the villain, because we were talking about Game of Thrones earlier, and that was what's his face for a long time, Joffrey.
Oh, God, I hated that kid. Man.
And now it's Kylo. They're I think they've just figured out. They're hey, if you make it just an asshole 17-year-old, they fucking hate the villain. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a cheat code for storytelling.
Well, I thought that was the most realistic Disney kind of storytelling. I mean, honestly,
it outpaces just about anything I've seen them do.
Yeah. Is anyone else here Poe and Finn shipping? Because I am. I am totally voting for that.
No, shipping's one of those fan terrorists. People that ship, it's you're a nerd terrorist. You ruined my favorite things.
Okay.
Just thanks for saying that.
All right.
I hadn't crossed my mind.
So we're gonna move on to upcoming movies. What movies are you guys kind of excited about?
Revenant.
It's amazing.
You saw it?
Yes.
I'm going.
It's fucking glorious. It's one of the best pictures I've seen in a while,
dude.
And it's not in the sense of action movie kind of typical. It's a very thought-provoking piece of art.
Yeah.
The director, I don't remember his name off the top.
Inarritu.
Yeah.
I can't.
One of the best directors out right now, man.
It's a beautiful, beautiful film, and the way
John,
he does it.
John was hating on the movie off bat.
Yeah.
So I mean, has your opinion changed?
Well, considering that no movie theater has gotten my money to see the movie, no.
You need to go see it. It's gonna be the picture.
I am going to go
that
see
gets Leo the Academy.
Oh yeah,
and you need to see it just for that.
Okay.
If he doesn't win off of this, it doesn't make fucking sense.
The things that they had to do to film that movie, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've got to praise like the director for just shooting with all natural lighting and like going out on location as opposed to doing the CGI thing. Like
he had to defend himself too.
It's an artistic piece. It's one of those movies that you see that's like, all right, yeah, that made me think a little. But it's also a piece that it's very entertaining. It's action packed. Like you can go into expecting an action movie and then you return like, man, that was really fucking good. And it's a 2.5 hour western. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm so excited, man. We have to do this. ASAP.
You guys need to see it. I will go see it again with you. Actually,
awesome. I'm down this weekend.
It was good.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth a second watch.
Okay, so what about other upcoming movies that are
Deadpool?
All right.
I'm so excited.
I was
kind of
waiting for the next Marvel movie.
Have you seen the new poster for Deadpool?
No, I haven't.
It's Ryan Reynolds and the other co-star, and they because it comes out on Valentine's Day, it looks like a romantic comedy poster. Like he's not now.
Oh yes, I did see that.
And it's like death can never hold true love back at the bottom, and it looks just like a romantic comedy.
And it's like him sitting next to his girl or whatever.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're not letting me down on like the comedy front because Deadpool has always been one of the most like snarky kind of sarcastic characters. You know,
Deadpool's gonna be the movie that shows Hollywood like, hey, look, it's okay to make an R-rated.
I mean, I was gonna say like that's.
I've been waiting for that too.
I love the vibe of that too. Like John started watching Jessica Jones and like
yes.
I just kind of was glancing at it and I started to turn to it more, man, and I want more of that kind of hard hitting. Like,
David Tennant gave me chills.
Yeah.
Like I am not going to lie. David Tennant did so good.
He has a weird ability to get you attached to him as a character. Whenever you watch something with Tennant in it, you tend to be a little more into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He did that with Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I like Jessica.
Can't say much about Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Can't say too much.
I've tried to watch Doctor Who multiple times.
Oh, do we have a Doctor Who hater here?
I'm not a hater. I just haven't been able to get into it.
If we have any Doctor Who fans out there, tell me why you think we should watch it. Maybe kind of review a couple episodes because.
And where do you start, man?
Yeah, you can't convince this guy.
Doctor Who is one of those. It's kind of a chick show. I'm not even going to defend it. It is. It's kind of a chick show. It's very him finding his true love oriented, and there's a lot of guys that watch it. It's an enjoyable show, but it's kind of like
I want to find my
guys get into Smallville and Supernatural as well, and those have always kind of been predominantly chick shows. It's kind of like a nerdy chick show.
I told John that I got that from Jessica Jones a little bit. Don't get me wrong, the storyline is
Jessica
great.
Jessica Jones kind of is, but it's really...
Here's the thing. You didn't say chick flick. You said battered girl. And I will...
You did say that. I do remember hearing that.
It kind of has like a... Don't get me wrong, and this is definitely something awesome, and there should be a platform for this type of...
For battered
yeah,
women?
absolutely.
Well, for women overcoming hardship, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, that's awesome. But it was kind of hard for me to put myself in those shoes until later on in the series when she's... kind of conflicted in different ways. Then I'm like, okay, I can kind of see myself going through that. But for the most part, it was like looking from the outside in,
And that's the thing. Like in the superhero community, the nerd community, we haven't had these strong female women. And Jessica Jones is a great
example. Really though,
who
we haven't had. It's not just the nerd community. It's kind of period.
Well, yeah, that's great. But I mean, the thing is in the nerd community, I mean, we consider ourselves to be a little bit more progressive and a little bit more forward thinking. And I mean, in acceptance, how many movies or comic books start off with acceptance and finding your inner power? And I mean, women haven't been represented as much, and I'm really glad to see Disney really stepping that up. And
it was kind of crazy. It was kind of cool to see Rey have such a big role in the movies.
Absolutely,
yeah.
I'm really excited to see where that goes.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see where those movies go, period.
I'm just excited to see Rey again, man.
I agree. And you know what's super dope? What's super dope is, like, they portrayed her in a way that, like, she's beautiful, you know what I mean? But they portrayed her in a way that's not, like, that's not her premier characteristic. Is her beauty. You know what I mean? Like she's a resilient character. She's resourceful. She's doing all these different things or whatever. And on top of that, and then there's more. She's also beautiful. So
you know,
really
all
cool.
it took too, the shift for that to happen was for Disney to figure out, hey, girls will buy action figures too.
Yeah. I mean, they figured out that
guys can lump one movie in and it covers Barbie and Transformers. Like, why are we still making two? This is much more efficient.
Pretty much.
That's what Star Wars boils down to.
I mean,
cost effectiveness
of selling action figures.
Yeah.
They're like, we're gonna buy Hasbro and then buy Star Wars and then just make money.
You know what's funny though? I've seen little boys like go fanboy for Frozen for the princess thing just as hard as they would for some male Disney show or whatever. Yeah, like you'd be surprised. I've seen them running around talking
Frozen's
about their little snowman guy.
You've never seen Frozen.
I haven't seen Frozen either, but I've seen little boys wearing Frozen t-shirts.
It's worth it. It's a good anime. Like it's not anime. It's a good family film. One of those animated. Like it's a good kids show.
Yeah.
Those shouldn't always be passed up. I almost passed up on Inside Out, and Inside Out was actually
Inside Out was really, really good.
It was a really good film.
Pixar and DreamWorks are still killing the game with these animated like the animated kind of kid-oriented films that have really great life meanings behind them. Like anytime I'm feeling down or whatever, I can go see a Pixar movie and get a life lesson, like from my grandmother or something. You know what I mean? That's pretty awesome.
So what about the Jungle Book, man?
Oh my God! I'm so glad you brought that up.
Can we talk about Lupita Nyong'o? Because
dude, but the cast.
I know.
Dude,
yeah.
Idris Elba playing Shere Khan. That is about to be fire.
Bill Murray, Christopher Walken.
Yes,
like,
bro.
Scarlett Johansson.
Dude, that as a child, that was my favorite.
That was one of my favorites too.
And it looks like they're doing a live action.
That I wore the
Lion
VHS
King.
out. Like that was my movie, so I'm very excited.
It looks good too. It looks like they I don't know. It looks like another reboot, to be honest. But
wow.
It looks like a good reboot.
I was gonna say like reboot. Like okay. These live action reboots that they've been doing have been really hit and miss for me.
I think it's always going to be hit and miss, but I do think that it's the time for reboots right now.
Oh
yeah, definitely.
It's 2016. I feel like this is the time to do it. And to be honest with you, I'm super excited about Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, is there a live action?
While we're on Disney, because Emma Watson is playing
Belle. Yeah.
And
the cast they couldn't have chosen a better cast for this movie. I don't care what anyone says. This cast is great. Can you pull up that cast list actually?
Beauty and the Beast.
The Beauty and the Beast live action. Ugh, so
it's
great.
Emma Watson, Dan Stevens, Luke Evans, Josh Gad, Emma Thompson, Kevin Kline, Ian McKellen's in it.
If that's the case, Ian McKellen, GOAT. I mean, he is one of the greatest actors of all time. Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about Disney, we've talked about Marvel, we've talked about all different kinds of kind of superhero things so far. So we're going to kind of keep in that same line. Who do you guys think is going to die in the next Civil War? Honestly, I think Iron Man is. I mean, I think it's a pretty self-evident that he will.
Okay.
I mean, with all the advertising and moving forward.
With Robert Downey Jr. saying that he doesn't want to play Iron Man anymore, it only makes sense.
Yeah.
For the story and for like a better a well-told story, to me, it's time for Captain to go. Captain America should probably bite the bullet, and they should somehow tell the story to where it gets reinvigorated and somebody else takes up that mantle.
But I mean, we've seen War Machine blowing up and on the ground, but that's also kind of a War Machine storyline that he dies and comes back, RoboCop, half robot. Traditionally, I think it's Captain America that dies in it.
Can I just throw this out there? Why is the black man gotta die? Tell me why.
Brody? I don't know.
Well, it's okay for me because they're gonna throw in Black Panther in this one, so it's all good. We're getting somebody to come back, and the new Black Panther movie.
Yeah, there's so many people in this movie.
But see, that's what they do in Walking Dead too. Like a black guy will die, and then all of a sudden, hey, Tyrone just walked in, and he's here to save us all.
Replacement black guy.
I know, it's like.
Don't even get me started.
I don't know.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, I can't stand The Walking Dead actually.
But I love the story, and I love the comics, and I loved the show until they got rid of Frank Darabont. And from then on, I still watch it because I'm such a big fan of the comics, but it's not what it was supposed to be.
Yeah. I feel like the last couple seasons have like literally taking a shit on all of its viewers.
Oh, dude, they just stretch it out.
What's weird is they're still working with Robert Kirkman too, though.
Kind of.
Oh, Kirkman's
He's
awesome,
still involved.
dude.
Yeah,
all of his work, his comics are amazing.
And then even the video games, the Telltale games are incredible.
It's AMC, man. AMC is the one that's responsible for all of that.
Which seems weird because they're getting a lot of praise for being like the biggest cable network.
Oh, they're terrible, man.
They have stepped their game up, though. I will say that with Walking Dead.
I just mean behind the
scenes,
amazing. They got rid of a lot of people,
and they just put out.
I think a lot of when they got rid of Frank,
I
think a lot of people just went along with him.
Yeah, the guy.
Because we started to see
Shane.
Dale died off,
and it was Dale and Shane. They said if Frank's gone, we're gone.
Yeah. But
okay, so are you guys going with the idea that no one's going to truly die? Is anyone kind of?
Does anyone ever truly die in Marvel Universe?
That's what
I mean?
I really wish they wouldn't be afraid to do that. Like push it just a little bit more.
I feel like you got something to say.
It's kind of a weird thing because Disney, when it comes to the comic book storylines, Disney hasn't really been true to a lot of them. They've kind of mixed and matched and done what they want. They've been good movies, but they haven't really been the comic book they're named after. You know what I mean? Like Civil War is completely different. The incident with the elementary school doesn't happen. It's not the traditional what Civil War was over. The only thing that's common with this Civil War is that they're still fighting. But we've seen comic books do that, retell a story in a different way too. But
we need to get to, honestly, I think that you have 3 different levels of comic book movies right now. You have DC and Marvel in that kind of PG, maybe PG-13 kind of area. And then you have Bryan Singer with X-Men in that PG-13, solid PG-13. And now Bryan Singer in Deadpool. I mean, we really need to reach more into that kind of grittier version of X-Men.
I think the thing is,
X-Men has done the last 3 movies have been spectacular. Or 2 movies, I guess.
The problem with X-Men is that they're movies. X-Men stories are long, complicated stories that really don't fit well in the 2-hour format. I mean, some of these X-Men movies need to be 3 hours. If you added an extra hour of content, the story would flow and feel a lot better.
Or almost like a live-action TV show to kind of fill in some of the spots.
What are you talking about in X-Men?
Yeah, X-Men. Yeah.
So you're saying the X-Men is not as good as the other Marvel movies?
Well, if you're coming in from a comic,
man, X-Men is the best out of Marvel movies right now.
But, I mean, because I think that's how I feel like you're leaning. You're trying to say that they would be better if they were longer. I mean, honestly, I think they're fine. Just the time period that they got.
They're not.
Days of Future Past.
They're not X-Men, man.
They're not diving in as deep as
but X-Men wrote some deep philosophical crazy stuff.
That's true.
And it's not being true to the spirit of X-Men to not have the length and the format to fully delve into X-Men. I'm just saying it would be better if
they're playing it very safe.
I'm not very much a fan of what Fox has done in the past with them. The Bryan Singers have been good. I'm excited for Deadpool. Deadpool looks good. We'll see what happens with X-Force, but I mean, they left the old ones in there too. They didn't just start with a clean boot. They did that weird, we're going back in time to include the other X-Men
to me that's brilliant.
They did it to me.
Brilliant.
This is the only movie franchise besides Star Trek, that has been able to do the whole we're going back in time thing without it getting too muddled and crossing it over. You know what I mean? Days of Future Past and other stuff, Days of Future Past and First Class. They told a prequel story in a very effective way, and it didn't contradict anything that was in the old movie. So
yeah, they were very respectful of the originals in a pretty clever way.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So, anyways, Elon Musk and SpaceX landed the Falcon 9. They did this last month, right? Biggest, longest orbital to land upright. Come back down, reusable rocket. They're getting ready to launch it again.
Onto a mobile platform, right?
And land it at sea. Actually, the 19th, I think, is when they're doing it. Anyways, come back, land it at sea onto a moving platform. We are this close to having reusable ships to go into space, and just so much closer to having commercial space travel.
Yeah.
He's talking about putting an orbit up that you can shoot up to, ride around the world, and come back wherever you need to.
Here's the thing. Like, we know that there is liquid water on Mars. We know that anywhere on Earth there is liquid water. There is life, period. I'm not saying indefinitely we'll find life there, but I think that we will find highly evolved microbes there, for sure.
Yeah.
I think Jesus put us here.
You tried to hold it together.
Oh, man.
Okay, thanks guys for watching. If you guys have any questions or any suggestions, please leave comments down below. We are really, really looking forward to that, and we are really looking forward to those likes and subscribes. Please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and also other social media sites, which are coming soon.
ABC News is reporting that Jamie Foxx rescued a man from a burning car.
I told you, bro. Jamie Foxx is the truth, dog. This man can play Ray.